I've decided to start a new life without you. The words hung in the air of the elegant restaurant where we had gathered to celebrate our daughter's college graduation. Gregory, my husband of 28 years, still held his champagne glass in the air. Instead of praising Amelia, he had just ended our marriage. The room went silent. Forks stopped mid-air. Conversations died instantly. Every guest stared at me, waiting for tears, yelling, or a scene. I smiled. Thank you for finally being honest. My name is Bianca Caldwell. I am 54 years old, and until that moment, I had spent my life being the perfect wife and mother. I gave up my own dreams to support Gregory through failed businesses, career changes, and endless phases of finding himself. I raised our daughter, Amelia, who sat beside me, still wearing her graduation cap, her face pale with shock. Behind her, I noticed Cassandra Wells, Gregory's much younger girlfriend, sitting awkwardly with friends who had known about the affair and never told me. The same woman who had attended our holidays. The same woman who once asked me for career advice. Calmly, I reached into my purse and placed a sealed cream-colored envelope beside Gregory's plate. "What's that?" he asked, his confident smile fading. "Something you should read later," I said. I turned to Amelia and kissed her cheek. "I'm so proud of you. Today is still your day." Then I stood and faced the guests. "Please enjoy your meal. I wish you all a pleasant afternoon." And with that, I walked out. Outside, the summer heat wrapped around me, but for the first time in years, I could breathe. Behind me, the restaurant door flew open. "Bianca," Gregory shouted, panic in his voice. "What did you do?" I kept walking. Inside the envelope were divorce papers and the beginning of consequences he never expected. I had always handled the money, while Gregory chased risky dreams. I made sure bills were paid and Amelia's future was secure. I worked extra hours as a finance manager, while he jumped from one passion to the next. 3 months earlier, I noticed strange transfers in our joint account. Small amounts, but they didn't belong. I didn't confront him. I investigated. Gregory had been hiding money, paying for Cassandra's lifestyle, and planning a future with her, all while telling me we needed to save for retirement. I found the messages. I saw the plans. He had chosen Amelia's graduation day for his dramatic exit. What he forgot was that I had spent 30 years working in finance. I knew how to follow money. I knew how to protect myself. And I remembered the prenuptial agreement he had insisted on years ago. It included a fidelity clause that never expired. While he planned his escape, I gathered evidence, hired lawyers, and prepared everything quietly. I served him the papers that morning. When I returned home, I found his bags already packed in the closet. He had been planning to leave the next day. Predictable. Hours later, Gregory stormed into the house, waving the envelope. "You served me today," he shouted, "on our daughter's graduation. I thought it fit your schedule," I said calmly. "You wanted a new life." "The prenup doesn't apply anymore," he said, trying to sound confident. "It does," I replied, "and you broke it." The truth hit him all at once. The house, the savings, the future he thought he secured, all gone. "You can't do this," he whispered, sinking onto the couch. "You ended this marriage," I said, "just not the way you planned." His phone buzzed nonstop. "Cassandra, waiting." "You're cold," he said. Did our 28 years mean nothing? I looked at him steadily. "They meant everything," I said. "That's why I protected myself." I studied him, the man I had loved for nearly 30 years, the man who had held my hand through 2 miscarriages before we had Amelia, the man who once surprised me with a weekend trip to Charleston for our 10th anniversary. When had he changed, or had he always been this way, and I had been too devoted to see it? "Our history mattered deeply to me," I said honestly. "That's why your betrayal hurt so much." His face softened, sensing an opening. "Then maybe we can fix this. I made a mistake. People make mistakes." "This wasn't a mistake, Gregory," I said calmly. "You planned this for over a year. You moved money in secret. You looked at property with her. You even planned to announce our separation in public so I wouldn't react." He scoffed. "You're exaggerating." I? I opened my phone and played a recording. After the graduation, I'll tell her it's over. A public place is better. She won't make a scene. Then Cassandra's voice, and she doesn't know about the money. Gregory replied, no, Bianca trusts me. That's her weakness. The color drained from his face. You recorded me. That's illegal. Not in Georgia, I said evenly. One-party consent, and it happened in our home. I recorded your plans, not your private moments. He jumped to his feet. I need to make some calls. You should start with your lawyer, I said. I'll stay at Diana's tonight. I nodded. She already knows everything. She saw you and Cassandra together last Christmas. You promised her you would end it. When you didn't, she came to me. That stunned him. He had never imagined his own sister would choose my side. Everyone's betraying me, he muttered. I picked up my purse and the overnight bag I had packed earlier. You have until tomorrow evening to collect your things. After that, the locks will be changed. As I reached the door, he called after me, what about Amelia? Have you thought about how this affects her? I turned, my anger finally breaking through. Don't use our daughter to protect yourself. You didn't think about her while planning your new life with Cassandra. His phone buzzed again. He checked it and groaned. Trouble? I asked. Cassandra is already at the apartment. She moved her things in. I smiled. The apartment you put in both your names. The lease you signed last month. He nodded, confused. You may want to call the leasing office, I said. That application was flagged for credit issues and never approved. They called our home to verify details. I handled it. I walked out, leaving Gregory alone as his carefully planned future began to collapse. Diana lived in a cozy bungalow near the university, where she taught literature. When I arrived, she wrapped me in a tight hug. I just spoke to Amelia, she said. Are you okay? Better than I expected, I admitted as she poured us wine. I can't believe he did that in a restaurant, Diana said. In front of everyone. It was meant to embarrass me, I replied. He wanted a public ending so I couldn't fight back. We sat in her sunroom, surrounded by books and plants. Diana had always chosen independence, and for the first time, I truly admired it. What was in the envelope? She asked. I told her about the divorce papers, the financial evidence, and the prenuptial agreement that would cost Gregory far more than he ever imagined. Diana laughed softly. He insisted on that prenup to protect himself. The irony is almost poetic. My phone rang. Amelia. Mom, she said, upset, I'm coming to Aunt Diana's. You don't have to. I'm already driving, she said. Dad is telling people you've lost your mind. He says you planned this for months. I closed my eyes. Of course he was. Gregory had always rewritten the story to make himself the victim. Let him talk, I said quietly. The truth always comes out. 20 minutes later, Amelia arrived. She was still wearing her graduation dress, her makeup streaked from crying. She collapsed into my arms the way she had when she was little and afraid. Why didn't you tell me? She asked softly. I didn't want to ruin your last semester, I said. You worked too hard for this moment. She pulled back and wiped her face. Dad already ruined it. In Diana's living room, Amelia finally heard everything about the affair, the hidden money, and the plans Gregory had been making behind our backs. I knew something was wrong, Amelia said. He was distant, always on his phone, but I never imagined this. Love makes us blind sometimes, Diana said gently. My phone buzzed. It was my attorney. The emergency filing had gone through. The accounts I flagged were frozen. Gregory now had limited access to money, enough to live, not enough to buy property or fund a new life. I showed the message to Amelia and Diana. Good, Amelia said. He deserves it. He's still your father, I reminded her. Whatever happens between him and me doesn't have to define your relationship with him. Amelia shook her head. He hugged me this morning and told me how proud he was. Then he destroyed our family hours later. The doorbell rang. Diana answered, then returned looking tense. It's Gregory, she said, and Cassandra is with him. They entered the room. Cassandra avoided eye contact, clearly uncomfortable. Gregory, however, was furious. "You need to stop this, Bianca," he snapped. "Unfreeze the accounts. We can talk like adults." Amelia stood up in front of me. "You should have tried acting like an adult before humiliating Mom in front of everyone." Gregory looked startled. "Amelia, this doesn't concern you. You ended our family on my graduation day," she said. "How does that not concern me?" Cassandra touched his arm. "Greg, we should leave." He brushed her off. "No, not until Bianca fixes this." Diana crossed her arms. "You created this situation, Gregory. Bianca is handling it responsibly. The accounts stay frozen until the hearing," I said calmly. "That's in 3 days." 3 days, Gregory said sharply. "How am I supposed to manage?" "You still have your personal account," I replied, "the one you've been quietly filling for a year." Cassandra turned toward him sharply. "You have a separate account." Gregory ignored her. "This is cruel, Bianca. You're being vindictive." "Maybe you never really knew me," I said, "just like I didn't truly know you." Amelia looked at Cassandra. "Did you know he planned to announce it at my graduation?" Cassandra hesitated. "I thought he was going to talk to your mother privately. I didn't know about today." Gregory stared at her, stunned. Their unity was already cracking. "You both need to leave," Diana said firmly. "Amelia," Gregory pleaded, "relationships change, people grow apart." "What I understand," Amelia said coldly, "is that you stole from our family while I worked 2 jobs, because you said money was tight. Please leave." The silence was heavy. Gregory finally turned and walked out, Cassandra following. At the door, he looked back at me. "This isn't over." "You're welcome to try," I replied. After they left, Amelia broke down beside me. I held her close. "Standing up for yourself hurts," I said softly, "but it matters." Diana raised her wine glass. "To new beginnings." A few days later, we stood in a quiet courtroom. Gregory arrived with a lawyer, who clearly wasn't prepared for family law. The judge reviewed the prenuptial agreement carefully. "This agreement is valid," she said. "There is no expiration clause." Gregory whispered urgently to his attorney. "The evidence of hidden transfers is concerning." The judge continued. "Joint accounts will remain frozen. The family home stays with Mrs. Caldwell during proceedings." Gregory's face turned red. "This is ridiculous." The judge looked at him sharply. "Mr. Caldwell, you signed this agreement. We will reconvene in 30 days. Outside the courtroom, Gregory hurried after me. "Bianca, please, 28 years has to mean something." I stopped and looked at him. "It did," I said. "That's why you should have protected it." "It counted for everything," I said, "until you decided it didn't." I walked away, leaving him alone in the courthouse hallway, finally facing the cost of his choices. The news spread fast. Friends called constantly. Some wanted to support me, others wanted details. I gave none. "Gregory and I are separating," I said calmly. "These things happen." Behind the scenes, Gregory's image was falling apart. The successful businessman, the devoted husband, none of it held up once the truth surfaced. With his accounts frozen, he couldn't keep the promises he'd made to Cassandra. The beachfront house never happened. The luxury car deposit was cancelled. 2 weeks later, Diana called me, barely hiding her laughter. "Cassandra moved out." "That didn't take long," I said. "She found out Gregory isn't nearly as wealthy as he claimed. The savings were exaggerated. The success was mostly smoke and mirrors. She told a friend she didn't sign up to date a man with money problems." I smiled. Gregory had always been good at selling illusions. While his life unraveled, mine was finally beginning. The savings I had kept separate gave me freedom he never expected. I rented a small office downtown and opened the consultancy I had dreamed about for years. My first clients were women going through divorces. Then came referrals. I helped women understand their finances during major transitions, divorce, widowhood, career changes. The work felt meaningful in a way my corporate job never had. Amelia, now working in Charleston, called often. "I'm proud of you, Mom," she said. You're helping people when they need it most. I'm doing what I wish someone had done for me, I told her, helping women prepare. For the first time, I was valued for my knowledge, not just my sacrifices. The final hearing fell on what would have been our 29th anniversary. It felt like a clean ending. Gregory looked worn down. His business was failing without my financial guidance. Cassandra was gone, already dating someone else. Most of our old friends had quietly stepped away from him. The judge upheld the prenuptial agreement completely. Gregory left with his personal belongings, a struggling business, and what remained in his private account after legal fees, barely enough for a small apartment. I kept the house, my retirement savings, and most of our shared investments, exactly as the agreement required in cases of infidelity. The irony was perfect. The document Gregory demanded to protect himself had undone him. Outside the courtroom, he stopped me one last time. I made a terrible mistake, he said. Is there any chance we could? No, I said gently, that door is closed. He nodded. I hope you find happiness, you deserve it. For the first time in years, I believed him. 6 months later, Caldwell Financial Transitions was thriving. I had expanded offices and hired 2 associates. I helped women secure their futures during life's hardest changes. Amelia visited often, proud of what I'd built. If Dad had just been honest, she said once, he might have kept half of everything. People don't always think beyond what they want in the moment, I replied. I was no longer just someone's wife or someone's mother. I was a business owner, a mentor, an advocate. The envelope I handed Gregory that day wasn't just a plan for escape. It was the key to a life I never imagined. And in protecting my future, I found something even more valuable. Myself,